Hi, I'm Elijah, and this is too much. I fixed it.
Video games are neat, am I right? I mean, the box art, the legality, it looks nice on a shelf. On second thought, no, this is clutter, and I hate clutter. But I like video games, but I want to play video games as well, so there's gotta be another way. Oh, this is rich. Video games are a dime a dozen experience that take time and space. And when I mean dime a dozen, I mean, you know that shiny penny that's in your pocket? No, you don't. It's Little Big Planet 3, f***er. What I meant is, like, back in the day, people actually had to leave their house in order to get one of these things.
Ooh.
The things you're willing to do to get Pack Attack. But that's just one aspect. What if you wanted to play a game, you didn't have to leave the house, but it would also be a pain on your psyche?
Digital media. Since the advent of Netflix, it was the new biggest thing, and now you'd think this may be the end of physical media, and it is, but also not. Kind of. I mean, it's still on its way out, but it's clinging onto the very little life it still has left. But it has so many advantages that digital has, but digital also has other advantages that physical doesn't have, and vice versa. But who knows, there's probably something about physical media that all these companies are just going at it and just saying, you are a sick little f***.
Now you may think that this has been a relatively new concept happening right now. There is a lot that led to this. The road to digital gaming starts with most games coming out on cartridges and then CDs. Sure, we have stuff like the Sega channel and the Satellaview, but there were more novelties to get games, plus it probably made you feel quirky. But then when stuff with the Wii Shop channel, PlayStation Store, and Xbox Live Arcade started putting games from yesteryear on consoles via download, but we also saw tiny games that were made for you to download, a la most WiiWare games. But then we would see retail games on the storefronts for download, and they're the exact same price that you would get for at a brick and mortar store, if not more. What the f were they doing? But it wasn't until the 8th generation with the PS4, Xbox One, and Wii U that you can actually download games that were at most Targets, minus the awkward interaction with staff. Hi, I would like to buy one Little Big Planet 3, please. Ooh, sorry, we're out of stock. Now this worked, except for the Wii U, because it's the Wii U. But bottom line, most games that you would have to leave your house for, you can get them online on your console. Or you could also get it on the disc and go to a Target. And everything was fine. Until Microsoft said, you know about Netflix? Game Pass, yeah, you know that thing where you put a disc in? Yeah, f all that. You could download it whenever you want from a rotated curation of games for a monthly fee. Not only do you get games from indie studios and older games from a backlog, but you also get a chance to play new games the second they release. PlayStation also followed this method with PlayStation Plus, and Nintendo, I mean, you just buy the game. Thus, when we get into this generation, some consoles would have a digital-only version, which the only way to buy games on these things is digital. Now, to be fair, the PSP did the whole digital console thing first, but back then it was a joke. But now, who's laughing now, bitch? With PlayStation and Xbox just putting spackle on their disk drive or just straight out removing it, Nintendo is the last one left, which, though Nintendo hasn't gotten rid of physical media yet, kinda, one day they'll look at physical media and go, ew.
Now you may think, Elijah, what is your stance on the thing? To which I have to show an old video of me doing this. But you know what, let's take these last few moments to actually discuss the pros and cons of both physical and digital, because if I don't, this is supposed to be a sick little fuck.
One of the pros of having physical media is you have it. Now, what do I mean by this other than, yeah, I own a copy of Uncharted: The Nathan Drake Collection, so what? Well, if you're not a person that keeps their games on a shelf, it's also another point in it of itself which you can give it away in like a yard sale, sell it online, or trade it in at a physical store. Physical games are a lucrative business in the gaming industry at some points because, again, I have Uncharted: The Nathan Drake Collection, but the boom for that ain't going up anytime soon. It also makes well as an easy gift to give to people compared to What the hell is this? Another point about them are the special editions of the games. If you want them, though, sometimes they're also an extra incentive to, usually as a status or a collector's item. So there seems to be some pretty good pros in the physical department, but there are some caveats to this. For starters, stuff like this can break, and not just your soul, the case itself, and sometimes the disc. Not to mention, if you or anyone else around you are in a vicinity with children who are young, chances are they don't even know what a GameCube is because you didn't give them the talk, and even if you did.
The Nintendo GameCube is Nintendo's second 3D console that came out in the early 2000s, but it pale in comparison to the PS2, but the PS2
You look like a crazy person. And if you think that's bad, you know the pain of losing a game? I have lost an extensive list of games in my heyday due to my own negligence. I may have found some of these games, and sure, some of these games I found are Mario Party Island Tour, which no matter how much I lose you or throw you away, you always find a way back to me, and Jesus! Also, I don't know if this is a con or anything, but if you're mostly buying old games that don't get re-released that much anytime soon, chances are those prices will skyrocket. I mean, look at this price for Chibi Robo when I first heard about it, and here's the price now that I want Chibi Robo. Well, you could play the game right now. It takes less time to get a game than it did before. I mean, sure, there are some things like download speeds, but I mean, they're not that slow. Not to mention, this also takes up less storage in your room. Well, ain't that good to know? Games could also go on multiple platforms, but that's more so on specific games. Also, if they're older games, sometimes they get new life on newer consoles digitally. Who knows, maybe that game might end up getting a physical copy later down the line. I'm just saying. You have some problems with buying games digitally, like the console storage and the game storage in question. I still don't understand why they don't put enough storage space in these things. Did I also mention that you need an internet connection most of the time? Which isn't bad enough if you're playing a game on the Switch on the road. Also, this is a lot harder to sell and share, even with game share being a thing, because I still don't even understand how Nintendo's game sharing thing works. I mean, it's a file, and it's a file you don't own. Not to mention, if a game is online only, chances are, once those servers are down, that game is gone forever. Also, sometimes buying the game digitally, you are granted to the game's MSRP. Like, this is how much I got for Ratchet & Clank physically, and this is how much it's worth now. This game came out in 2016. Now, am I saying that there are no sales? No, there sometimes are sales, but even then, sometimes it feels like that they're just cheaping us out. So really, it all boils down to, I don't know what I feel like that day. Because sometimes I feel like that physical media has its advantages and digitals, like there are some advantages, but really there's some type of magic with physicals. I mean, I'm just mostly talking out of my ass on this, but like, when you sit down and think about it, it doesn't really matter on how you play the game, both physically and digitally. It just, you play the game. And if they start limiting those options, chances are you're not going to get a lot of people to play your games. And see, that is the key word, options. Because in this gaming community, we have to have options on which way we buy our games.
Well, I hope we learned a lot today. I know I did. And it's that Kidney Depot down the road. The employees are quick at name calling.